Wait, what are you doing? That's not even sure.
Oh, no, wait! What do you think I have to deal with?
I need to give myself a run.
You're 12.
Tell her when you try something. I'm 12. What are you talking about?
You basically said I have the potential to be good.
Ugh, I give up. I'm never gonna finish this project.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be late. Come on guys, it's time to go. Ugh, what a mess. I'll deal with it later.
All right. When next? World War II, I was there. Charlottetown Conference. That was a pretty good party. Qing Dynasty, conquest of Ming Dynasty. Yawn. Seriously? Oh, hello. Who's this then? The Klondike. That's fun.
Ow! Why'd you do that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were dead.
Huh? What?
Well, you're not dead. Good for you. Now, tell me, what would a young girl like yourself be doing in a library at this hour?
It's this stupid history project.
History is never stupid.
Well, this thing is. It's about the Klondike Gold Rush. I can't even figure out exactly how it started.
That shouldn't be that difficult.
Really? Look. Rabbit Creek, Northwest Territories. It was August 16th, 1896. 4 people were there that day, and one of them pulled the first gold out of the water. There was this guy, George Washington Carmack, an American. His name is on the original claim. This lady is Carmack's wife, Kate. Shatala was her native name. She's never really talked about, 'cause she's a girl? Maybe. Skookum Jim, Carmack's partner, and Kate's brother. Some say his name's not on the claim, 'cause he was tricked into thinking no native could make a stake. Last we have Dawson Charlie. He says he spotted the gold while washing a frying pan. Weird thing is, the Canadian government credits this guy, Robert Henderson. He supposedly told them where to look. Funny he's the only white Canadian. So, which one?
Like I said, it should be easy to find out.
Wait, how do you... Who are you?
I'm the doctor.
Doctor Who?
When?
What?
No, when?
Now?
Now what?
Your name now?
All right, when?
Okay, if not now, when?
Yes.
Ugh, I just want to know your name.
Calm down, calm down. My name is Dr. Wen.
Dr. Wen? Isn't there a TV show about?
No, I am nothing like him. I don't even know what you're talking about.
All right. Now you said you could tell me who started the gold rush?
Oh, I have no idea, but I can show you.
What?
When?
Do not start this again.
No, really.
travel through time and space, discovering the great truths about history. What did Churchill have for lunch on D-Day? I know. Did Napoleon wear platform shoes? I know. And guess what? You don't know.
That's great, really. And how do you do all this?
Follow me.
Whoa, where did that come from? It looks like a portable.
I know! It was the last one in the shop and all the cool ones were gone. Come on, let's go.
You know, you never asked me my name.
Oh, didn't I? Do you know why?
Why?
Don't care.
Lucy! My name is Lucy. Oh. Wow. It's bigger on the inside.
Of course it is, silly girl. Be quite cramped if it was just a toilet. Now, close the door behind you. Seriously, there'll be quite a draft in the time vortex.
What's happening?
It's called the MARDIS, Memory and Relative Dimension in Space. It can travel anywhere, in time, anywhere in the universe. And it's mine.
Is it a machine?
No, it's a ship, and it's alive, and it's the best of its kind.
Wow. Hey, what's this? I thought you never heard of Doctor Who.
I've never seen this thing before in my life. Look at my ship.
So we can go anywhere. The Renaissance?
Yes. The Wild West.
Really? The Stone Age?
Ancient Egypt.
The Klondike?
Nah, let's go to the 80s, which is a riot, by the way. You know, I got these clothes in
Wait, what about my project? Can we go back to the start of the Klondike Gold Rush?
All right, it's all about you, isn't it?
Okay, August 16th, 1896. Rapid Creek, later known as Bonanza Creek, Northwest Territories. This date changed the history of Canada. The Klondike Gold Rush led to an explosion of people heading west from Canada and north from the United States.
I know, but I need to know who started it.
I'm getting to that. So, I'm grateful. I mean, an incredibly stylish gentleman whisked you away in his magic box, and it's just me. May I continue? Thank you. At the beginning, only a few came, but that few became dozens, and that dozens became hundreds, and that became thousands. And before it was over 100,000 people had come looking for gold. What are you doing?
Chocolate coins for a history project. You want mine?
Certainly not. Now put those away.
Continue.
Most turned back halfway to the gold. The hard and dangerous journey was just too much for them. For the people who kept going, they created a boom town called Dawson City.
Ooh, I remember reading about that. It became the biggest city in Canada at the time, right? Huh? Right?
No one likes a smarty pants.
You know, you're kind of a
fantastic genius? Yes, I know. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
This. Here we are, August 16th, 1896, 2:08 p.m., the Klondike Gold Rush. The day that started it all. Off you go then.
This is amazing.
I told you so.
Look, they're here. Come on. Come on, come on, let's go, come on. Look it. The one shoveling is George Carmack. The woman there, that's Kate, the wife. The one panning, ooh, what's his name? Oh, that's Dawson Charlie. The one with the frying pan, that's Skookum Jim. He always said he found the gold while cleaning a frying pan. It's the first nugget of the Klondike Gold Rush.
Shh! They'll hear you. You can't change the past. Just one small thing can change the future dramatically. They call it the butterfly effect. Silly name, really. I like to call it the Dr. Wen dilemma. Anyway, this moment in time changes the landscape of this part of the country forever. You see, in a matter of a few years, this cold, isolated, beautiful desert spot becomes overrun with all kinds of... Can you imagine what might have happened if they did not discover that gold nugget?
Look at that! Look at that!
Where did you find that?
Over there in the creek.
Lucy! Oh, no. This is modeling bad. It's not happening. It's not happening. No. This can't happen. It's not happening. Oh, come on. Put it back. Put the nugget back now.
What? Why?
That's the nugget. The nugget.
I lost it.
You what?
You yelled at me.
No. Oh, gosh, no. Very bad.
I mean, they're probably gonna find more. I mean, there must be more nuggets around here.
Well, I think this creek's a bust. Yep. I think Henderson gave us some bum advice.
Okay, come on. The long track home.
What a waste of time!
No, come back. There's plenty of gold here. Look at, it's tiny. Sorry.
You should be. But I'm the doctor, and I fix things. It's what I do. Come on, back to the Marys. No. Oh, no.
Maybe it's not that big of a deal. I mean, how big of an effect can one nugget have?
Not a big deal. This gold rush is one of the turning points of the 20th century. Not a big deal. Watch this.
What?
This is the As It Was-inator. This wonder will show us the effects this day has on this country and all the people who came here.
It kind of just looks like a laptop.
Shh. You'll hurt her feelings. The last time I hurt her feelings, she landed me on the Titanic, and you know how that went.
Sorry. As a what-a-witch-nator?
Just watch the Klondike Gold Rush. Alright, just let it warm up a bit. Ah, here we are, Rabbit Creek, later known as Bonanza Creek. The Klondike, the biggest gold rush in Canadian history. On this day, the four people who we just met, George Carmack, Kate Carmack, Skookum Jim Mason, and Cal Gooks or Dawson Charlie were hunting and prospecting by the creek on the advice of Robert Henderson. Now we know who found the first gold of the Klondike Gold Rush. You. And unless we can fix it, none of what comes next might happen, and what happens next is incredible. Once the word got out that there was gold in Canadian Yukon, almost 1 million people planned to go. And even after discovering the challenges ahead of them, 100,000 people still set out for the Klondike. Why would so many leave their homes and lives for such a risk? For that, we have to go back a few years. In the 1890s, the U.S. was suffering from the greatest depression in its history. It began with what is called the Panic of '93. Banks failed, farms ceased to operate, 15,000 businesses closed. Unemployment rose to nearly 20%, higher in states like New York and Michigan. Breadwinners couldn't feed their families. There seemed like there was no hope, so when the word got out there was gold in the North, American citizens would drop everything to become a stampeder. These were white-collar workers who would sell what little they had and headed north. There were 3 routes to the Klondike. The Canadian route through the mountains from Edmonton, the rich man's route, rent a boat from Seattle all the way north to the mouth of the Yukon River, and finally, the poor man's route, into the Klondike from Skagway or Dia. Most traveled the poor path through either the White Pass or the Chilkoot Pass. The White Pass was longer, and extreme cold killed hundreds of pack horses. Most on this route turned home. It became known as Dead Horse Trail. This left most of the stampeders heading up Chilkoot Pass, a steep 45-degree incline covered in ice. The mounted police did not allow any entry into the Klondike without a year's supply. They didn't want people with a shovel and a sandwich dying on the trip. The supply list added up to 1 ton of goods. This meant that each miner had to hike up Chilkoot with 100 pounds on their back many times. It was an endless human chain. You couldn't stop for rest because it would be hours before you could get back in line.
Hey, is that you?
As well as being a time master, I also invented photobombing. At the top, a city of supplies arose. There was 70 feet of snow that first winter, meaning that a supply city was covered 7 times. The determined dug out and continued on. But they weren't there yet. Next, they found themselves at Bennett Lake. Prospectors began building boats, hand-cut planks pitched to seal them, some even using their own underwear to stop leaks. 20,000 men building 7,000 boats. Once the ice thawed, on June 3rd, 1898, an armada of overloaded little boats floated, many crashing and sinking, to the fields of gold. Here's the sad part, Lucy. When they got there, the treasure hunters discovered that most of the claims had already been staked. The creek was already buzzing with people who had been nearby. They had been panning sluice boxes and rockers at a fever pitch for 18 months. The richest spot, El Dorado Creek, 31 claims, each worth more than $1 million. The stampeders scooped up the pastures and the little plots that were left and went to work. No panning for them. They had to burn through the permafrost 100 feet down. Dig and dig again. It would take almost a year for them to see if they had found a streak on their claim. The prospectors were not the only ones to profit in the Klondike. In fact, more people made fortunes by selling goods and services to the miners than in the gold fields. By 1898, the small First Nation fishing camp at the meeting of the Yukon and the Klondike River had been transformed into the largest and most diverse Canadian city west of Winnipeg. Oh, I also invented the selfie. kind of regret that one. Dawson City arose as a center for entrepreneurs and conmen, grifters, and opportunists. Colorful people with colorful names. Swiftwater Bill, the Evaporated Kid, Klondike Kate, Calamity Jane, Soapy Smith. You could get anything in Dawson City for a price. Paris fashions, imported delicacies, oysters, parasols. One egg was $2. A glass of milk was $5. A liter of champagne was $30. That's $850 in your money, Lucy. It was said you could get a bathtub of champagne and, if you had the gold, a woman to sit in it. Prospectors would come into town with a line of mules, each with 100 pounds of gold on their back, and there were people ready and willing to take it. Many instant millionaires ate off gold plates and traveled the world, only to find themselves years later back in the Klondike, poor and scraping their claim for a tiny bit of leftover gold. The Klondike Gold Rush ended almost as quickly as it began. By the end of 1898, many of the miners who had been too late moved on. The Yukon fell out of the headlines, the news dominated now by the Spanish-American War. The wild boom towns of Dawson and Skagway became respectable, and no longer attractive to prospectors. The final nail came when gold was found in Nome, Alaska, drawing the gold diggers north. 8,000 people left Dawson in 1 week in August 1899. So what is the lasting effect of the gold rush in Yukon? First of all, $20 million in gold came out of the Klondike between 1897 and 1899. That's almost $850 million in your money, Lucy. Close to $50 million by the time it was over. That's a lot of money being pumped into the North American economy during tough times. The rush also brought fast advancement to a desolate part of the country. Telegraph lines were built to connect the area to the outside world. A railway line was built between Skagway and the head of the Yukon River. Government and support developed during this time. The Yukon was not just a wilderness anymore. In fact, the Yukon Territory was officially formed by the Canadian Parliament on June 13, 1898. Dawson City collapsed into a tiny community of 1,500, but don't feel too bad for them. The city is now a popular destination for travelers and tour groups. Unfortunately, the gold did not shine bright for all. The gold rush ruined the lives of many of the native people of the area. The Han people were forced aside by miners as well as being infected by unencountered diseases. They were ignored and mistreated. The irony is, they knew where most of the gold was if anyone had bothered to ask them. It took over a century before they were compensated for their losses. The environment also suffered. As one person stated, what chance did one subarctic river valley have against 40,000 people? Forests were destroyed for wood. Untended cooking fires set blazes all across the Yukon River. This, of course, resulted in the loss of wildlife habitats. Toxic runoff and debris poisoned the soil. Dams interrupted fish migration. The landscape was permanently altered. Perhaps the most important legacy of the Klondike Gold Rush is its place in the minds in the history of the continent. It is a shared story of adventure and challenge, an image of Canada's wild north and the people who conquered it. There are books, songs, automobiles, TV miniseries, video games, ice cream bars, all inspired by the Klondike. So yes, Lucy, the Klondike Gold Rush is a big deal. Your little nugget is a big deal.
We have to fix this. The gold rush is an important part of our history. If not the most environmentally friendly, what do we do?
I must admit, I'm not quite sure. Somehow, we have to get events back on track. Those four have to discover the gold on August 16th, 1896, again with the stuffing of the face.
I'm sorry. I eat when I'm upset, so. I got it! Can you take us back to just before the miners leave?
Of course. Why? Do you have a plan? I'm supposed to have the plan. But let's go. Alonzi!
Look! There they are!
Well, I think this creek's a bust.
Can you make a distraction?
Henderson gave us the phone
Yeah.
advice.
Watch. It's my sonic saw.
Looks like a screwdriver.
It's nothing like that. What a waste of time.
Cool.
I know.
What's that? I mean, trees just don't fall all by themselves. What's that? Something shiny in the water. I'll get it.
Wow, look at that.
We're rich.
Not bad, huh?
Beginner's luck. I'll take you home. I hate to admit it, but you've done good.
Wow, you said something nice. Weird.
Well, I better be off.
Will I see you again?
Well, who knows? Or when knows? Maybe the next project. Farewell.
Oh no. Doctor!
Need me already?
Look!
I knew it! I knew it! It's too good to be true. I should never leave these things up to amateurs. I guess I have to go fix it myself. And fix it right this time. Hey, what are you doing? We've got work to do.